6. A tea party. Nick looked through the door of the tea room and the Express Hotel. McHudson sat at the table with a man. The man was about 30, or maybe a year or two younger. He is tall and brown from the sun. He wore a white shirt, white trousers, and white shoes. He said something to Meg, and she laughed. She looked very happy. A waiter came up to Nick. "Can I get you some tea?" he asked. "No thanks," said Nick. "I'm with the two people over there." And he walked across to Meg's table. "Hello, Miss Rieger," said Nick. "Remember me? We met at Whistler. Your name was Jan then, but maybe today it's McHudson." McHudson looked up at him. "Oh," she said, and his face went red. "Who's this, Meg?" asked the man. "This is Nick," said Meg. "He's a writer. Nick, this is Grey Winter. Sometimes called Mr. Hollywood," said Nick. "Maybe, but how did you know that?" asked Grey Winter. "I guessed," said Nick, "and I think I'm beginning to understand. Can I ask you a question, Mr. Winter? Does somebody want to kill you?" Grey Winter's face went. "Kill me? What are you talking about?" asked Meg. "Before I tell you, answer the question, please," said Nick. "You call me Mr. Hollywood in Whistler, and you want the man at the next table, the man with white hair, to hear you. Is that right?" McHudson did not answer at first. Then she said quietly, "Yes." "Why?" asked Nick. "I want him to follow you, and not me." "Why?" Nick asked again. "I think he's detective," said Nick. "And I think he's working for my father. I saw him soon after I left Toronto. He followed me." Meg put her hand on Grey Winter's arm. "My father doesn't like Grace. A month ago, he told me not to see Grace again. I'm not happy, and he knows that. I think he gets that I'm meeting Grace, and now he wants to find Grace and stop him seeing me." "Stop him," said Nick. "Or kill him." "No," McHudson said. "That he doesn't. The man with white hair pushed me in front of a car in Vancouver," Nick told her, "and he shot at me in Stanley Park." "What?" said Meg. Tell me about this man with white hair," Winter said suddenly. Nick looked at him. "He's about 60, and he's tall and thin," he said. "Do you know his name?" asked Winter. "Vickers," said Nick. Grey Winter suddenly looked ill. Did he, did he follow you to Victoria? Did he follow you here? I don't know, said Nick. He was afraid of him. Why? Why? Why did man Vicar want to kill you, Winters? Before Great Winter could answer, Nick's face went white. Oh no, she said. Look! Look over there! By the door! Nick and Great Winter turned to look. At the door of the tea room stood the man with white hair. He looked up and down the room, and then he saw them, and began to walk across the table. His hands were in his pocket. For a second or two the three people at the table did not move. Then Great Winter jumped to his feet. "That's Mr. Hollywood!" he screamed. "That man there!" Then he pointed at Nick. The man's hand came out his pocket with a gun. This for Anna!" he shouted. Nick moved very fast. The table went over, and Nick was down on the floor in a second. The shot went over his head, and Meg screamed. At the same time, Great Winter shouted out and put her hand on his arm. There was blood on his white shirt. Then more people began to scream, and the waiter pulled the man with white hair down on the floor. "Get the police!" somebody shouted. Chapter 7. At the police station. It was 7:30 p.m. Nick and Meg were in the room at the police station. The man called Vicar were in a different room with 3 detectives. There was a doctor with him too. Great Winter were at the hospital. The door opened, and the detective came in with the 2 cups of coffee. He put them down on the table and turned to go out again. "Detective Edmund," Max said, "did the hospital call? Is Gray going to be all right?" "Winters," Detective Edmund said, "yes, he's going to be okay." "Can I call the hospital now?" asked Meg. "I'd like to wait," said Ivan. "Detective Kidd is going to be here in a minute. He's just coming from airport and—" He looked through the open door. "Ah, here is he now." A second detective came into the room, but behind him was a tall man with the dark hair. Meg stood up quickly. "Daddy!" she cried. "What are you doing here?" "The police called me," said Howard Hudson, "and I flew here at once. Detective Kidd met me at the airport. Now, sit down, Meg. I want you to listen to me." He did not look at Nick. Meg sat down, and her father took her hand. "Meg, next week, Johnny Vicker came to my house. He wanted to talk about his daughter. You remember Anna, Meg? 3 months ago, she jumped up a bridge in Boston and died. She was young, beautiful, rich, and she did want to live. Why? Because she loved the man, and the man took her money, ran away, and left her. And the man was called. No, said Meg. No, Jack Mass. Yes, he was called Mr. Hollywood. No, shouted Meg. She began to cry. That's right, Miss Hudson, said the kid quietly. To you, he raised the name Grey Winter. When Anna Vicker knew him, he was called Winters, but he lied on her girlfriend to call him Mr. Hollywood. He took near $50,000 Anna Vicker and their girl before that. No, it's not true, Meg shouted. It is true, Meg, said her father. Winters gets his money from the man's daughters. Jonah Whisker loved his daughter. He went to her house in Boston after she died. He read her letter and learned about the money and the name Mr. Hollywood. And when he came to my house, I told him about you, Meg. I said, my daughter got a new boyfriend, and she called him Mr. Hollywood. I don't like him, but I can't stop her. She's going away to meet him next week, I think. What I can do? Johnny put his hand on my arm, and he said, don't be afraid for your daughter. I'm going to find the man and stop him. Meg said nothing. Her face was very white. For a minute or two, nobody spoke. Then Detective Edmund said, Vickers told us that about it, Miss Hudson. He followed you to Whistler and saw you with. Nick began to understand. With me, in the cafe, and Matt called me Mr. Hollywood. How Hudson looked at Nick. You're the travel writer guy, right? Lost. Nick nodded, said Nick. Vicker nearly killed me. He shot at me twice but Hargot Hudson was not very interested in Nick. He looked at his daughter again. How much money did you give him, Meg? He said. I gave him $25,000, said Meg. Only for 2 or 3 months, he said. Then she began to cry again. Well, you can say goodbye to that money, said Hudson angrily. What's going to happen to Vicker? Asked Detective Edmund. Hospital, I think, said Edmund. Okay. He shot at you, and about 15 people saw him. But he's not a wild man. The doctors are going to put him away in the hospital. Howard Hudson stopped her. "Okay, Meg, I'm going to take you home. My plane is waiting at the airport." Meg followed her father to the door. Then she remembered Nick and turned. "I'm sorry," she said. "I got you on tape. I called you Mr. Hollywood. That's wrong. But I did know." "It's okay," said Nick. "You know everything now. And it's better to learn it now, and not later." $15,000 later. Chapter 8. A Nice Smile. Nick took the evening ferry back to Vancouver. He was tired and hungry, so he went down to get some dinner in the ferry restaurant. The restaurant was busy, and there was only one free table. Nick sat down quickly and began to eat. "I must get back to work tomorrow," he thought, and forgot about Mary Drain's daughter and men with guns. "Excuse me," somebody said. "Can I sit with you?" Nick looked up. There was a pretty girl next to his table. He got up. It's okay," he said. "You can have this table. I don't want it." And he began to move away. "Please don't go," the girl said. "Stay and finish your dinner." He smiled at him. It was a nice smile, but Nick knew all about nice smiles. "I'm not hungry," he said, and he walked quickly out of the restaurant.